Have you ever been in the middle of a sentence when you notice someone's eyes glazing over? They start scrolling through their phone or looking at the ceiling. They're still nodding, but you can tell that they are mentally gone. You see, it used to destroy me. I'd walk away from conversations feeling confused, rejected, but couldn't explain why. I thought maybe I was just socially awkward, but one day at a dinner party, I was halfway through a story about work when someone across the table cut me off and changed the subject. And guess what? Nobody said anything. Nobody asked me to continue. They just moved on like I didn't exist. I smiled like it didn't bother me. But inside, I felt invisible. That was the night I realized something painful. Nobody wants to hear you when your words are all about you. Not because they're rude, but because you made it hard for them to care. So I did something most people don't. I started studying conversations and seeing the patterns, the little things that changed everything. Here are the 3 core rules that transform the way I speak, and more importantly, the way people listen. Number 1, the need to be right. This one's a conversation assassin. You think you're being helpful, correcting a word, giving random advice. You think it makes you sound smart, but what you're really doing is making people feel wrong. The truth is, when you need to be right, you kill connection. You turn a conversation into a debate, and most conversations are not battles to win. They're moments to feel. I had a friend once say, "You need a college degree if you want to be successful." Old me would have jumped in immediately. That's not true. Plenty of successful people dropped out of school. Technically correct, socially devastating. Now I just say, yeah, that's what most people believe. It's tough figuring it all out. Because people don't need a human Wikipedia. They need someone who actually gets it. If you make people feel safe, they'll actually want to hear your perspective later. But if you try to prove you're smarter than them, they shut down instantly. So ask yourself, would you rather be right or would you rather be received? Number 2, vulnerability isn't weakness. The problem is, most people who think they're bad at talking are actually too polished. They rehearse stories, deliver them perfectly, and still no reaction. Because they sound like they're reading a script, not sharing a moment. The truth is, we don't connect through perfection. We connect through vulnerability. What hooks people is never the climax. It's the crack in the voice, the pause in the middle, the truth hiding behind the hesitation. I once heard a guy say, "I failed 2 exams and I didn't tell anyone. I was scared they'd see me as lazy or stupid, like all my worth came from grades." That one line made the whole room lean in because that's real. That's human. It wasn't the failure that hit people, it was the honesty. Your problem is you're trying to perform too perfect. You don't have to overshare, but if you want to hold attention, be honest about your flaws. That's what makes people like you, not being perfect, but being real enough to be felt. But the truth is, saying the right things isn't enough. Why? Because there's something deeper they feel before you even open your mouth. Number 3, your emotional frequency. You can say the right words, tell the right story, and still lose the room if your vibe's off. I'm not talking about fake smiles or TED Talk charisma. I'm talking about emotional posture, the energy behind your words. Only 7% of communication is the actual words we use. The rest is tone, body language, and emotional frequency. The truth is, people feel your tension before they hear your sentence. If you're trying to prove something, they feel it. If you're bitter, resentful, insecure, they feel that too. It's called emotional dissonance, and humans are wired to pick it up. You ever talk to someone who seems friendly, but deep down you know they're judging you? That's what happens when you focus on sounding right instead of being real. So before you speak, check your posture, not your back, your emotional posture. Are you tense, defending yourself, trying to impress? Breathe, let go, and be where your feet are. When your energy says, "I'm with you, not above you," people listen because they feel safe. And safety makes people open up. But there's one more thing to keep in mind. Even when you get everything right, you're present, you're real, you're open, some people still won't hear you. Not because you failed, but because they weren't ready to listen. They're distracted, guarded, emotionally checked out. And here's the part that stings. Sometimes we waste our voice trying to be heard by people who were never going to understand us in the first place. You think if you say it better, louder, smoother, they'll finally get it. But the truth is, some people don't want to get it. That's why you don't speak to convince. You speak to connect. You speak with presence, with honesty. And when you do that, you start pulling in the kind of people who don't just stay in the conversation. They remember it, respect it, and most importantly, they carry it with them. By the way, don't forget to check out this video to level up your social skills even further, and feel free to share your own stories in the comments. Until next time.